year is 1351. Oh, so. The plague ravages the land. Everywhere you go, death follows. What is a guy to do? Right from the word go, Nested Land sets the atmosphere. The world is dead. It's that sour note that leads the main character and you on this journey. For him, a chance to start anew, a chance to escape and rebuild. For you, a chance to create a civilization that will survive the test of time. Or burn it to the ground. I was emailed this key to try out the alpha of this game. Probably they've been watching my RimWorld playthrough and thought, there's a walrus who can keep a village together.
Okay, so, guys, here's the new plan. We're gonna do some organ harvesting, and then we're gonna shove them into the RIP scanner to get rid of all the evidence they ever existed. This is the best strategy. We get organs, and we get to hide the body.
I have not been sponsored though, so let me tell you my honest impression of the game. It needs work. That's a good thing from an alpha. It's being sent out to see what works and what can be improved. I wouldn't expect it to be a polished masterpiece. It was fun from my 3 hours or so playing it, but I am getting ahead of myself. Let me introduce you to this world. So we are a survivor of plague-covered lands. Which one? Don't worry about it. Our parents always dreamed of returning to the motherland and building a settlement. And since we had nothing better to do, now that all of our friends and family have gone to the great plague-filled Valhalla in the sky, we grabbed our girl, ran from bandits, and found ourselves on a boat heading to Tales Untold. An interesting premise for sure, giving up our life to start afresh. Where have I heard that before? Ah well, I'm sure it'll come to me. So, to sum this game up, Nested Lands is a settlement building RPG set in a dark, plague-ridden medieval world. As a shipwreck survivor, you must build and manage your own village, recruit settlers, and ensure their survival against the harsh realities of this unforgiving world. As you can probably tell from the description, it's a RimWorld 7 Days to Die mashup. That's not a bad thing. I love the idea of building a settlement with my two hands and watch it grow and develop as we play. Honestly, the idea is something I've long played with in my head. Not that I can develop games. The biggest issue I can see with this genre would be the end game. Once you have the settlement just right, what are you going to do? That's not something we need to think about now. The end game is not something that's in this alpha anyway. The boat capsizes and we meet your new bestie, Boulder. We begin the tutorial and... I am Boulder. Boulder? Boulder? Boulder, the game froze! Boulder! Help me! Well, okay, I'm sure that was a one-off. Let's try again. Oh, come on! I'm not sure, but I think this is probably an optimization issue. Or, you know, my computer got infected with the plague. Both are contenders. All I know is setting the game to windowed and putting the graphics down a level fixed the issue. Kind of. There would be random freezes and splutters now and again, but I get them in other games, so it might be my computer's screaming for a Viking funeral after 5 years of use. I'm not going to blame the game for being a little choppy if it is their fault. Once again, alpha. I will give this comment against the game though. The tutorials are all out of order. I had to open my bag, equip this tunic, head over to Boulder to learn about another mechanic before walking tooltips came up. I know it's a weird point, but if the tutorial is designed for someone who has never played a game before, teaching them to walk after they've already had to walk is an interesting choice. Anyway, you know this song and dance, grab stuff, make stuff, progress. We get some stone, wood and fibre together and make ourselves an axe. Why do we need this axe? Well, Boulder here has been trapped behind this wooden structure, like a door, but used to keep people out. The name of it is on the tip of my tongue. Aha! After destroying Boulder's Gate, he chooses to show us the sights. A watchtower that sounds like Boulder may have eaten his way out of.
Destroyed my village, locked us in. Watched, starved and killed each other. I hope those bastards got what was coming to them.
Locked us as we starved and ate each other. This man has eaten human flesh. A cemetery that he insists there is stuff in, but I couldn't find anything. Out. Out you go. This guy.
Losing someone dear can break a man. More ways than one. I suppose it was just too much for him to take.
He looks fine. Like he's just chilling out back there. The guy in the background's going, "Hey guys, how you doing? Lovely day for it, isn't it?" And this guy's like, "Poor son." And Bo's just like, "Poor sod." Completely insane. Oh, we should put him down immediately. I hear his flesh is excellent on a grill. And finally, we arrive at the destroyed village. We tell him our plan and ask him to help. He says to let him sleep on it and instructs us to craft a bed. Easy, I've done this in 100 games. What are reed fibers? And this is my biggest gripe with this alpha. Nothing stands out. There's plants everywhere. Some have berries, some have fibers, and some have nothing. How do you know the difference? Not a clue. Now, in hindsight, it's obvious that all the resources to craft this tent would be near the main area. But the game had wanted me to loot everything from Baldur's Gate to here, so I had. So, in my mind, I had missed a chest. I hadn't. Okay, it'll be near the only body of water I had seen, the ocean. It wasn't. Every fibre I picked up was plant fibre, or the plant doesn't do anything. After a while, you begin to notice the difference. But even at the end, I was walking to random bushes, hoping for fibre. Where is it? Well, there's a lake at the town. Can you spot the reeds? No, because they look like every other plant, and sometimes, when you are standing over them, they won't even give you the option to pick them up. You have to be 3 or 4 steps next to them. It's at this time I need to say 2 things. The game's assets feel off, and this is a great lesson on quality of life UI. Now, I'm in no way calling this game an asset flip, but everything after a while looks generic. There is no spice to elevate this game. I'm not saying it needs to be hyper stylized to work, but currently it does need something to make it pop. To stand out above a crowd. I'm hoping they'll improve the visuals before the game releases. As for quality of life, we are going to talk about yellow walls. Not in any big way, just to make a point. Do you know what happens when there aren't any visual clues where to go? People get lost, or assume they've reached the end of a path. Some games overdo it, but Nested Lands underdoes it, and it makes everything hard to see. The game is dim at the best of times. There's very little difference between night and day, other than this cold mechanic which makes travelling at night problematic. It's part of the aesthetic, I understand, but logs become hard to see and plants fuse with each other, so you have no idea what is scenery and what is useful. What's the solution? A small highlight. A simple and obvious indicator that yes, this plant is harvestable. If you want to go further, do what you do with the building mechanic and have the harvestable item highlighted over the item. Make it a toggle for those who don't want the handheld, or people who might want to turn it off at the endgame when they aren't collecting as much. But a little quality of life will go a long way. Anyway, enough rambling for now. We still got a ways to go. We build a tent and have a sleep, and suddenly Boulder's telling us that we give him hope. Not sure how. Maybe it was our endless optimism in the grim, dark universe that the Emperor of Man would stomp out. Maybe it was the power of the great big bushy beard. Yeah, that'll be it. The Hope Beard reigns supreme once more. Anyway, he asked us to build a town centre. We do. And then he asked us to build a house for a villager. Once that's all done, we recruit our first servant. I mean colonist. Apologies, the rimworld's seeping in. This is Raymond. And the only thing you need to know about Raymond is everybody hates Raymond. You assign him a simple task when they join, and you can assign more complex tasks at the town centre. A simple, quaint system that works well. This is truthfully the thing that made me look into this game. Whereas there are some issues that we'll chat about in a bit, I think this is a great starting point and something I look forward to seeing developed in the full release. See this box? Yes, fancy box, ain't it? You need to put food in there so they eat. You need to construct a well and a shower for drinking and stopping Raymond stinking up the place. It's all fairly easy to set up. It'll be interesting to see if we get upgrades to everything in later releases. Cooking is fairly basic right now too. See that campfire? Food and firewood goes in, cooked food comes out. So the simplest meal is cooked carrots. Although the chickens respawn daily, so you can cook and harvest them quickly enough. There was a funny glitch that helped me no end when I had more people. Carrots, for some reason, don't get used once they hit 6 in your inventory. This creates an infinite food glitch, which I don't recommend the developer fixes until they get automated cooking sorted. Let the carrots flow! Currently, there is a nice variety of stuff that can be built, and I didn't get to see much, which was a shame. You can assign people to roles like farmers and gatherers for specific items, and as you create more facilities, more options open to you. It's a lovely system. The only thing I was unsure of was the wood gatherer and stone gatherer. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident I saw this guy punch a tree once, so I think they can cut down trees.
Yeah, he is cutting down a tree. Good for him.
But equally, they never seem to have the tools, and when I tried to put a pickaxe in the chest, the guy never took it. So it's anyone's guess if they do actually do more than pick up the items off the ground currently. Anyway, all this building and recruiting has Walretto tuckered out, so we head back to our shack. Okay, look, this is a weird nitpick, but if you are living in a nice-ish house, and then you look over and the leader of your settlement seems more down on their luck than you, would you work for them? I'd personally question if he knows how to look after us, when he clearly can't take care of himself. Give me the option to build a house for me. Back to the story. Building houses is hard, so we decide someone else should do it for us. So we build a builder's hut, a new house, all while Raymond complains about being a farmer.
Raymond, there's lots to do. You just gotta go out there and do it.
We build him some new farms and... all that's sorted. We keep the expansion going, but I begin to hit a wall with the before-mentioned gathering issue and the builder being temperamental. The first house, I dropped the resources into the chest, and it seems he made the fibers into rope and put them in the house. Great. He never did it again. All of the times he would sit there at his little corner and stare at me until I made the rope for him. Not sure what the intended plan was, but equally, it was Raymond in charge, and nobody likes Raymond. The game hit a bit of a roadblock here. Sure, there was plenty to do, and we had an incident while heading out to recruit more people, Oh, hello. Sir, how would you like to be a bit... they're not friendly. I'm going to take that as a maybe on the builder. We got to see some saucy shower scenes, courtesy of the town beauty, Edmund. And we unlocked some skills, which were all locked in the alpha, so I won't touch on them more than they looked interesting. So after building up the village a bit, Walrus decided to check out the plague. You can burn bodies to destroy plague sites. I suppose if you leave them too long, the plague will spread to the village. But it was mostly fun and never came up during my time playing. We burned a body and discovered the plague bar could use some new textures to make it fit into the world more. And in the end, Walrus decided to have a little sleep, for he had made a good start on saving the world from the scourge of the plague. So, what do I think of Nested Lands so far? It's got promise. I love the concept. I like how everything you do has more promise of more returns. The problem right now is that it's just promise. Some things don't work how they probably should. Other things aren't easy to understand. And how you give a wood gatherer an axe, and if you even can, will keep me up for days to come. The biggest issue is the quality of life parts of the game. I had to go and gather again towards the end of my playthrough, and I still couldn't work out what was fibre and what was scenery. A few UI elements would go a long way to helping with that. In the end, that's what stopped me from continuing. Well, that and Raymond complaining for the 48,000th time. If this game came out today in this condition, I couldn't recommend it. But this is an alpha. It's gonna have bugs, and stuff will be changed for the full release. The main thing about this game is it has promise. But as soon as 1M Bits Horde keeps working on it, gets a colony cooking mechanic going, and really nails down the style they want, this could end up being a fantastic game by release, and one I'll be keeping my eye on for sure. But if you want to see more Edmund content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to watch lest the purple plague bar finds you. Comment your thoughts about this game, and I'll catch you again in the future. Thanks for listening. Sayonara!